and whatever. 24 Hours at a Time came from the Marshall Tucker Band, and somewhere in between there were the catcher's mitt here. Jerry Garcia has stopped by, and I, on behalf of everyone out there, I'm just, it's a real honor, a real pleasure to have you here.
Thanks a lot. It's nice to be here.
And Jerry was, who were we, over JFK? That's why I figured you wouldn't make it, just because the Cross Island at this hour is pretty ridiculous.
It really wasn't too bad.
No?
We just missed it, I guess. I guess we just nosed in just before it got its dentist or something. Well, I'm kind of new here, you know. I don't really know.
How are you feeling? I must answer 40, 50 calls a night with the new rumor is that you have this and that wrong with your throat and this and that. How are you feeling?
I feel like, you know, my throat has been sore pretty much continually since the beginning of November. But I think, but I'm not ill. You know, it's just, you know, beat up.
I'm wondering, why does that happen more often to people? I mean, are you just sort of, there's a rock and roll band, especially a British band, or somebody coming from a different country or a different food and everything. If they get sick, what do they just load you up with vitamins and everything and say you got
you just
too much money?
You just do as well as you can. This last tour is the first time I've been sick on the road before. This last tour is the first time I was really like so weak I couldn't play. And what happened was, classically, what happens is, when you're traveling, you get locked into these weird environments, you know, like airplanes, motel rooms that don't have any access to real air.
There's lots of air conditioning,
that kind of stuff.
Like this studio here.
Highly filtered, and,
exactly,
you know, and that it's a good way to get a cold, is what it boils down to. So, you know, I went through this period of first wearing out my throat and then getting a King Kong infection, which made it so we had to cancel a part of that last tour. And these gigs that we're doing now are makeups mostly. And then I actually recovered, amazingly enough. And we did some gigs out on the West Coast and in the South, and we'd been working pretty steadily. And then when we came out at the beginning of this tour, we went to Philadelphia. First thing we got was one of those hotels, you know, one of those sealed hotels. God, I woke up in the morning, my voice was gone. We hadn't even done a gig or anything. Just immediately, you know, just from the dryness of it.
So what do? You panic or what?
No, I don't know what.
Couldn't cancel it again.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's great. Well,
don't anybody breathe on me. That's the whole thing. All you people that are coming to the show tonight, please, avoid exhaling. If you
we are all wearing surgical masks in here tonight. Let me ask you, and I'm glad you came up, because if I was going to ask anybody, I was from the Hartford, Massachusetts area, and I never made it down here, but the Notorious concert in '73, which you haven't been back to Long Island since then, and I know people have been, how come the Dead never come here? And I said, because of the biggest hassle, probably, one of the biggest, when the Coliseum rock and roll started.
They busted about 40% of the audience or something like that.
Just dragging them out.
It was pretty grim. I can't say that it's improved much. You know, although, here's the thing, is that they were aware of that, and have been trying to sell us this change of policy rap, you know, that, well, we don't do that anymore, and we haven't had any trouble here for a long time and all that.
Who was doing that?
The people who run the Nassau Coliseum.
That would rent it, okay.
Yeah. And in spite of all those insurances last night, I mean, I don't know really whether a lot of people got busted outside like they did back in whenever that was, 73, when we had our last big trouble there. But as far as like down in front goes, I mean, their attempt to control the seating, you know, or the crowd or something, which is probably something that's dictated by the rules of the hall or the municipality. Because that's usually what that is, where they have to sit down because of fire laws or whatever, you know. Their enforcement of that is like, it's sort of depressing, you know, because from our point of view, what we see is the back of a whole lot of cops.
Right.
And the faces of a whole lot of intimidated fans, you know, who are afraid to get up and boogie or look cross-eyed or anything. You know?
I once went to, I don't know who it was, Orleans or somebody at the New Haven Coliseum, and they're going, come on, get up off your ass and boogie. And I'm thinking, yeah, you get up off your ass in the aisle.
Thumps you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do that. But what do you actually see of an audience at a concert like that? I mean, the cops, I mean...
Well, most places it's not like that. I mean, you know... It depends on what the policy of the hall is. You know, some places like Madison Square Garden was not unpleasant for that. It was looser, which is surprising. It was surprising to me. But Nassau is a sit-down situation, I think. So probably the seats, I don't know whether the seats are assigned or not.
Yeah, they are reserved. Yeah.
In that case, they must experience amazing confusion. You know.
Well, somebody told me that from about 7:45 last night, they stopped. The ushers just say, find it yourself.
Yeah.
Which is a drag.
Well, I don't see how they can really control it. It doesn't seem really appropriate. But on the other hand, in a place like that, when they have what they call festival seating, which is no seating at all,
which is my favorite.
Then you experience the other horror story from the onstage point of view, which is seeing people get squashed flat in front. You know, it's
really at Englishtown. I think Bob Weir just said, "Come on, everybody's got to take a couple steps
It's a
back."
little routine.
Yeah,
we do it every time faces start turning purple in front. People are bleeding at the ears and eyes and stuff. They're all squashed.
Was that the first time you played the Garden a couple nights ago? Or?
Yeah,
it was.
We played the Felt Forum once quite a long time ago,
right,
but never the Garden.
Is it
just because we've always heard the stories about it are so are uniformly bad? You know? Don't play there. It's just awful. And but for the kind of room it is, it actually sounds real good. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a good place to play in New York. It sounds good from a musician's point of view. You know, on stage, the room doesn't repeat, creating time confusion, but it has a warm reverberance, which is more pleasing.
I think they spent a little bit more money there. They didn't go for the budget package, which whether maybe there's an extra.
It costs an arm and a leg to get into that place.
Yeah,
as high as the ticket prices are and stuff like that, it's like we really don't. It's not like we don't make money at that gig. Really, it costs so much to rent the place.
Is there any of those big halls that you like playing?
Well, sometimes they're fun and sometimes they're not, you know. And some are good and some aren't. Sometimes and you can't tell. And just the way we play and the way the Grateful Dead is and everything like that, it's really hard to tell whether it's going to be a good night or a bad night. Sometimes we've gone into those places. I remember there's one in St. Louis that we played about a year ago, I guess, maybe a little longer than that. But the place is so totally atrocious. I mean, the sound was horrible. It was like, every one of us, everybody in the band, after during our intermission, was like laughable. I mean, you couldn't even complain about it. It was so horrible. When we came back for the second half, it was this magical transformation sort of occurred where we sort of gave up. We said, we'll never, pardon me, folks.
Edit.
Those of you out there who belong to the law, we just said, the heck with it.
I'm not on the log.
We'll just do as well as we possibly can. And it came together. We sort of overcame the acoustics or something like that. I don't know.
So it worked.
You can't tell about big halls.
What do you hear it about 20 seconds later coming back and share what?
If you're lucky, you don't hear it at all.
Good. Well, that's good. I can't find the record here, and I don't know where it went. We get a lot of requests for this bit, and I figured if I ever bumped into any of you or Phil Lesh, I would ask you about it. And that's the Congress of Wonders bit, the Pigeon Park bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry is shaking his head.
Let me ask you about your.
Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, I got too many.
Talk about Ray.
He's juggling drinks here. I'm going to do a little monologue and. All right, so you don't know those guys and you don't like that bit then?
I know the Congress of Wonders guys. They're not together anymore, but they were pretty funny. But it's tough to
Okay.
It's tough for me to relate to something like that.
It wasn't funny.
But the National Lampoon did a pretty good take of us.
You're right.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. That was in the California tape.
Yeah.
Here, Pidgey, Pidgey, Pidgey. Here, Pidgey. Wow, look at the colors on that one. Oh, it flew away.
Hey, you move over. Leave enough room for an old man to sit down.
You see this place where the paint's dulled?
Huh?
This is where I sit.
Huh?
You can sit over there, you old freak.
Freak? Why, I oughta...
Come on, get it on.
Oh,
get it on.
Oh, yeah, I oughta... Ooh, my nose. Oh,
What?
my nose.
Why, it's Phil. Phil, remember me?
No, I don't remember anything.
Phil, it's me, Jerry Garcia.
Captain Trips.
Right on.
Is it really you?
I just said right on, didn't I?
Oh no, oh my heart, oh my heart,
What is it? What can I do? What is it?
Oh, quick, reach inside my buckskin jacket. No, not that, you idiot, that's my stash. The little bottle with the poppers. Oh,
Here they are.
Oh, thanks. I'm okay. Phew. what a hit. Oh, here, want one?
Sure. Sure. Okay, let's talk about old times before it wears off.
Huh?
Hey, remember our old band, the Dreadful Great?
Huh? What? Was that what it was? Huh?
Well, it was something like that. But those were the days anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at that blonde over there, playing with the swans.
Oh, I'm sure glad folks aren't so sexually uptight nowadays.
I guess so, but I can't see anything in swan fondling myself. Say, wanna smoke a number?
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't know, though. You know, it's not the same since they made it legal.
True.
Oh, here, you need a match for that?
No, these new things, they light themselves.
They do.
You just strike them on the pavement. You have to wait until the sulfur burns off them, though. Here you are.
Thanks, brother.
Oh, wow. These are the ones with the opium in them.
They sure are heavy.
I'll never get out of this park.
Oh, that's all right. The comfort people will take you home.
Yeah, but it's so embarrassing. The free ice cream's getting me fat, and they make you go to the bathroom.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, here come the pigeons again. God, how I hate them.
Oh, look at the colors on that one.
Beautiful.
Huh? Oops, it flew away.
Hey, what's this on my fruit boot? Ah, that's why I hate them.
Hey, what's that sound? Oh, look out. Here comes the cocaine helicopter.
Again?
Oh, quick, let's hide under that tree. Oh, these kids today have no sense of proportion. That's veered off.
Thank goodness.
These kids today have no sense of proportion.
You said that, didn't you?
I did?
Are you going to sit back down, or are you going to hover over that bench forever?
Huh? Oh, far out. I thought I had sat down. You know, the mind is alert, but the body forgets.
That's right. What was it I was going to say? Oh, it's so righteous to see you again.
Righteous.
Say, you remember those gigs we used to play up in San Diego?
Oh, yeah.
Over in L.A., Seattle, Miami, New York.
Yeah. Oh, I remember calling home from Nebraska in the middle of the night, stoned on acid. I told my old lady, say something real.
Phew. Yeah, those were the days. I remember playing Love Light for 4 hours, but Big Brother never showed up.
Yeah, you bastards. Say, whatever happened to old Housley, anyhow?
Oh, didn't you hear?
No.
After he got out of jail, he invented a new drug called MSG, something like that. And he glowed in the dark for 3 days.
Wow.
And they finally had to take him away for being an air traffic safety hazard.
Far out.
He was that high.
Uh-oh, better douse that, Jay. There's the heat.
Oh, but it's legal now.
I don't care. I never trusted them pigs. I'm too old to start now. Pig! He didn't hear me. He doesn't care. He's too stoned.
He did hear you.
Oh, he did hear me. Oh,
Let's
no.
get out of here.
Bad vibes.
He sprayed us with the LSD spray. I'll never get out of this park.
I'm so high. So high.
Look at that pigeon.
He must be 18 feet high.
You're listening to WLIR-FM. I'm Ray White, and a real special guest here. Well, geez, it's, what's it, 79, quick math. It's been 6 years now we've been trying to drag you out here. I would say that probably Long Island and New Jersey have got to be the biggest deadhead population. I mean, I've been to San Francisco, but I'd say it's heavier out here. I don't know, maybe it's because you're exotic or something, because you're from the West Coast or something, but it's amazing out here. Do you... No, you don't know?
I don't know why. I mean, if
But
there's
you
a
do
why,
notice
I
it.
don't-
You're
oh,
aware.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
There's incredible dead following out here. I mean, I've seen you 25, 30 times, and that's nothing compared to what some of the people out there have seen. Who have I seen that was good? Watkins Glen. That was kind of a
That was fun for one of those colossal things.
Your sound check was great. I remember that.
Yeah, that was our good.
That was the good one, right? You had to set up, and they only allowed you to play, I guess, one day, but everyone was allowed a sound check, so you came out and did a 2-hour sound check the night before. It was great.
What the heck?
It was
there
great.
was all those people, you know.
Yeah, there must have been a few 100,000. It was great. You know what I wanted to talk about, and we might as well play a song, and then we'll get back. We'll think of something else, some other comedy cuts to throw at you. From your last solo record, too. Nice cover, too. Kelly did this one? Yes?
Stanley Mouse, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. From what's the deal with your covers too? They're great. The new one, Shakedown Street, is great too. That's. Do you go out and find somebody, or
the record company didn't like it?
That doesn't matter.
No, it's like they're guys that we know. You know, like Gilbert Shelton does the Fabulous Furry Brothers and Wonder Warthog and all that stuff. You know, so
all right.
It was like also it's one of those things too where in that particular one we sort of visualized that style because of. Mostly because of the neighborhood where our studio is in, which is, you know, a lot like the cover.
It is in Oakland, isn't it?
No, but it might as well be.
Yeah. Or it could be Hempstead, where you just pulled into. I mean,
could be.
That's a perfect picture, yeah. And anything, Cats Under the Stars, is there a story in this thing? It's a nice cover.
Like what?
I don't know. Some heaviosity. You know? Each one of those, I don't know, whatever.
I'm sworn to secrecy about that stuff.
Oh, you are?
I can't
Okay.
talk about it.
Can't talk about it. Mars Hotel. I'll never forget, I was on the air one morning, and the album, I was doing a morning show. I said, now, it's got to be something. This writing has to be something. It's a Grateful Dead. So I had Keith Jarrett on, and it was morning. It was a mellow piano solo he was doing. So I said, I know, if you look in a mirror, you can figure out what it's saying there under the... So I turned the lights off. If you're in a recording studio or a radio station, you know that when you turn the lights off, that the windows end up becoming mirrors.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So I turned the light off in the studio that was on the other side of me, flipped the album over, and I said, Ugly Rumors. And as I said, Ugly Rumors, the record rolls out across the board, hits the Keith Jarrett album.
Oh, nice.
The arm goes up, and I went, oh, Jesus. And it comes back down, and it's on Keith blowing his brains out in this freeform cut. That's just...
Was it worth it?
Yeah, I just potted up and said, I can't just put it back where it was and bring it up like nothing happened. So I gave the whole rap, and we ended up playing some Dead. But anyways, my favorite on...
That's a good story.
It was great. Cats Under the Stars, what do we have? Robert Hunter up here was saying that his favorite in a long time was Ruben and Cherise.
Yeah, nice tune. I was happy with that one, too.
That was a great song. Lyrically, I guess he said that was his... what was the word he used?
It's a misapplication of the Orpheus myth.
Cherise at WLIR-FM. If you just tuned in, I guess I should have mentioned it. Somebody came in and yelled at me. Actually, it was Larry Kleiman. It says, who are you talking to? Some wino we found out in the street.
You know, nickel. Come on.
It's Jerry Garcia, who stopped by the radio station. And...
Oh, no!
You have to leave out that door. I don't. I don't have to. Yeah, you have a helicopter on the roof, so that's how he's going to. At 92.7 FM, WLIR, Garden City is the radio station. You mind if we do a couple commercials?
Go ahead.
Coliseum. Were you pleased with the show last night? A lot of people...
Yeah, well, I had a pretty good time.
Yeah,
we had a pretty good time, I think, generally.
Settle something for us. Is your birthday in August?
It's in August.
Okay, because there are two encyclopedias here, and I mentioned the Illustrated, right? And one of them is wrong. Which one, Michael?
The Rock Almanac. I went on the
It's August 1st, is that right?
It was August 1st.
Yeah.
I found this and went on the air the first night of the when you played the Garden.
All right, and
It said that you were born in 1943.
one of the almanacs is wrong.
Always went crazy.
They're very, very wrong.
So let's cross it off, right?
Tell the folks which is the good.
So August 1st is right, and I don't know. Okay.
At least that's what my ma said.
All right. That's your birth certificate. We could do some news. No, you know we could do... Let's talk about the new album. Let's talk about Egypt. Did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah, wonderful time.
Was it... did you have to be in control, or could you just sort of be a tourist?
Oh, Egypt is a great place if you even worry about control ever. Because
You can lose it?
Oh, totally.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. People will drag you into scenes. I mean, really, physically. You know, and I mean, you can just be walking down the street and you'll end up at somebody's house, eating dinner and meeting the family and drinking tea and
That's great.
smoking hubbly bubbly, the big water pipes. And, God, it's great. What a place. What great people. Really amazing people. Yeah.
Did you have any hassles there at all?
None.
None?
None
That's
at all.
great. Was it tough to set up the concert?
No, but we went in there expecting
Maximum?
Yeah, expecting maximum difficulty, so we came like completely self-contained. We had we brought a whole lot of equipment from England. The Who stuff, actually, they have a sound company that has, you know, kind of the whole number, you know. So we had a generator truck, 24-track recording truck, you know, PA, and
So
all
you
of our
recorded it then,
gear.
it's all?
Yeah.
And did you like the tapes? You heard them?
They're pretty crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Think we may have them on vinyl?
Yeah, we
one of
may
these?
put some of it out. Yeah, we may put some of it out.
What is it with live albums? I know, as far as I'm concerned, I think live is, you know, it's... You people can either be a regular band, but some nights I see you and you're the best band in the world, maybe the best band that'll ever come down.
We keep hoping we'll get one of those on tape.
And that's, I guess, why we have so many live albums.
Yeah, I know, but
Do you ever listen to any of the old ones, or...
not too often. More often I listen to tapes of our most recent concerts because it's like homework, you know.
Keeps you sharp?
Yeah, right.
So what, do you have cassettes with you or something? Or?
Yeah, we usually pull tape like out at the sound booth, and sometimes we have people who are recording like really nicely mixed 2-track Nagra tapes of the shows.
That's
Just as a matter of routine.
Great. So we may, Egypt may be on vinyl someday.
Maybe.
Great, that'd be good. That'd
Some
be good.
choice bits of it, certainly.
What surprised you when you were there? Anything when you were playing?
Everything.
Did it freak you out when did you come in and out of thinking about?
Well, it's a really amazing setting. I mean, where we were playing was sort of down and to the right of the right paw of the Sphinx, and with the Great Pyramid, with the 3 pyramids behind us, sort of symmetrically. We were kind of, you know, so from the audience's point of view, you could see the band and the band set up, the Sphinx a little to the right, and the pyramids and the horizon right there, you know, right on the plateau there. It was just amazing, you know. And then there was a total eclipse of the moon the third night we played.
Just for
It was perfect, you know, in short, you know.
who thought the whole thing up?
It's an old fantasy of ours that we've thought of, like, God, wouldn't it be great to play at the Great Pyramid? Yeah, the Great Pyramid, too much. You know. And, you know, so the idea's been around for a long time. You know, we've been fantasizing about it, but really Richard Lauren, who's more or less our manager, put it together. He started visiting Egypt about 74, 75, and he went back a couple of years, and he's a photographer. And he came back with beautiful pictures of it, and he said, this is a great place to go, you know, and he kept going back there, and until pretty soon he discovered that there's this outdoor theater that they have right by the Sphinx, which you don't hear about it very much. It's where they have their Son et Lumiere show. They light up everything at night there, you know, for the tourists and everything. They have a rap, pre-recorded rap in 3 languages, which is pretty lame actually, but it looks pretty, you know.
Put on the headphones.
Did they? Did you freak anybody out so that they won't ever allow that again or anything?
Oh, no.
No?
Everybody loved it. I mean,
Picked up their
there's a little
garbage.
village there. The Mina village is right there, where the people who've countless generations of people hustling tourists and selling camel
Really,
rides
yeah.
and
Must go way
tourists of the
back.
pyramid. Yeah, way back.
So that's like a fan.
And those people were wonderful. They completely absorbed our whole scene. In fact, you know, I mean, everybody had a great time there, and they loved the music. The people loved the music.
That's great.
Yeah, it was amazing. God, and the way the way this little theater set up, there was no real security or anything. There was only little sort of border markers delineating where the theater area was, as opposed to the desert. But beyond that was just desert, and there were Bedouins out on the desert dancing, and God, it was amazing. It really was amazing.
So no one is stuck apartment buildings or anything there, or
no,
billboards?
it's all little funky Egyptian,
great.
sort of Arabic-looking stuff, but old stuff, sandstone, little sandstone houses and hustle like that. And the people are neat there, real neat. It's like a place where the people are poor, but there isn't any misery. Everybody's very up, enthusiastic and friendly and neat, real neat.
It must have been pretty wild, because I imagine on the stage there must come points where you can sort of just space out and dig what's going on, right? I mean,
Yeah.
And that must have been a wild one.
Oh, it was
to space out on.
It was amazing.
I've never seen the Dead over in Europe, because I've never been to Europe, but like Europe 72 was your big Europe tour. How is it playing over in Europe? I mean, you must have a lot of Americans.
Yeah, there's European Deadheads too.
Uh-huh. What's the difference between them?
Their accents.
I said myself. Thanks for coming by. Aside from that, are they into any weird things?
They're kind of like Deadheads everywhere, except that they have their own definition of themselves. You know what I mean? They have their own little numbers and stuff, but the kind of input that we get from them, and the kind of letters that they write, and when we meet people over there and stuff like that, they're the kind of people they are is a lot like American Deadheads, whatever that is. But it's a very specific kind of person.
What was it like?
They laugh a lot. They have fun.
Yeah. What was it like doing TV? I saw you on TV the other day.
That was fun too.
What's it like on the show there? Is there a lot of hustle and bustle? I mean, is it...
oh, yeah. Well, the whole thing is happening in real time,
right,
for one thing. So all that set changes and costume changes and makeup and all that stuff is going on continually. The whole place is just seething with activity continually. And it's interesting the way the show comes together. It comes together in the course of a week, and so there's these rehearsals as the thing starts to tighten up. And
so you can kind of watch
the thing that's most striking is how incredibly raw most of the sketches are when they first start them out. I mean, they're like, they would never be able to go on television with them the way they start off, and then they gradually cut back because of the censors and so forth and all the things that the rules they have to pay attention to. And they're very, very funny. The people are really funny people. They're good folks. Their scene is not unlike ours. It's similar to ours. So we got along real well with them.
Great,
yeah, the way we went on there is because some of the people from the show are good fans of ours and have been coming to our shows for years and hitting on us to come and do the thing, but we've been dragging our feet about television in general for really a long time. But
did you ever
their show is live is, I think, the main reason that we went and did it.
Did you ever get burned by TV? I remember you were going to be the first rock band on Midnight Special, was it, way back when? And
in concert.
It was in concert. That was it. Yeah.
Over at Hofstra.
Yeah, we blew it out. Because, it's lame.
Yeah. Have you ever done TV? I'm trying to think.
No, one time we did Playboy After Hours back in '69 or '68 or something like that, yeah.
And weren't you in a movie, too?
It was pretty funny.
Talk about a clash in two different heads there.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. We got Kid Hunt. Is she in there? No. She's not in there. We'll go to a record. That's what we'll do. You're listening to WLIR-FM. Good evening. And we've been talking with Jerry Garcia, and he's going to hang out for another 10, 15 minutes or so. So stick around. It's our guest. And it is a real treat, because for all the people, man, we got some crazy, great people out there who just are in love with the Jerry Garcia Band and the Dead. And thanks for years and years of great music. What keeps you going? I mean, most people... I could think of the Who, the Stones, and the Grateful Dead, man. But don't give me the answer.
It keeps you running.
It keeps you running, okay. So that's what... No. Give me some kind of...
Hope your cold gets better.
So, the Grateful Dead, huh? Let's talk about the new album. You blew a lot of people away with that song. I think that's a logical Do people come up to you and say, why the disco-ish thing or anything? No, not all, no.
Not yet.
No. Because I think it's
the first.
Yeah, you're the
Get
first.
out of here, I'm the first.
Well, yeah, as far as that cut is concerned, yeah. In fact, I'm sort of surprised that more people haven't commented on it. I mean, in that
'Cause you're
light.
ready for it.
Obviously, it's stylistically, that's where it's at.
Uh-huh. But isn't that beat and that whole style is just like, it's like a fuzz tone, it's like anything.
It's
like,
a style.
Yeah, you're just playing with another...
Yeah,
the groove.
It's the Grateful Dead has always done that. We just absorb styles. And of course, the way we play this tune now is really it feels differently than it does on the record. On the record, it's up more the way a disco tune is. When we do it live, it's sort of snakier and slower, and it performs better that way for some reason.
And some reggae has creeped into your set too.
Yeah, that's another thing we've absorbed.
Yeah.
But those things they turn up everywhere. They start turning up everywhere.
That's cool. And were we talking on mic about? No, I guess about the song itself, Shakedown Street.
I don't remember.
I don't. It must have been interesting. I was just going to ask
probably
you
was.
about if there's any sort of a theme running through the album or anything, or. And who calls the final shots in the mix and stuff? Is that you? Is it a democratic thing with the band?
It's a process. It isn't like on some of the tunes. All the tunes that are my tunes that I wrote on the record are my mixes as well. So Shakedown Street, If I Had the World, and Stagger Lee are all my mixes pretty much. Fire on the Mountain, I didn't mix. Most of the mixing was done by Dan Healy and John Kahn, who really should share producer credits with Lowell George, but we had to get this copy in before the record was really completed, so we didn't know that was the way it was going to work.
How did you bump into Lowell George? Because I know John Kahn and Dan Healy have been around you for a while.
Well, we liked that live Little Feat record, and
That's a great record.
felt that a guy who works in a band and who would maybe might work out well for us, because there's a certain way of thinking, band thinking as opposed to record thinking, that we thought it might work out well. And it sort of did, but it sort of didn't, too. Lowell is a good guy, though. We all like him a lot. He's a good guy.
Got about another half an hour here to go. Pam will be in at 7. She's here early, though. She came by to see our mystery guest.
Early Merlin.
All right. Early Merly this time. Whirly Merly. And Jerry Garcia is here with us. You don't need much preparation then to get on. Just boom,
I like about 45 minutes before the show, so I can warm up.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what I can get away with. That has a lot to do with it. I need at least 45 minutes to get my hands together. Yeah. And we've been playing, so, otherwise, if this had been like the first, show, like if this was yesterday,
okay,
for example, we would be down there sound checking and doing all that. But since it's the second night in the place, it gives us a little slack.
Sound checks. That's great. Again, that sound check at Watkins Glen was fantastic. That was a great one. They said they pulled it off. The cops didn't shut the show down or anything because that was great. You always going to live in San Francisco? Is that pretty much going to be your home, or?
Oh, that's the area. I was born there. So I think of it as home,
Menlo
even
Park?
if I don't mean it. Well, I lived in Palo Alto for a while, and the Grateful Dead started in Palo Alto, but I was born in San Francisco and mostly raised there. That's where I sort of grew up there.
What happens with the band? Because I understand one of the guys in the Eagles, who's no longer in the band, ended up living in Kansas and would fly back and forth. I mean, is that...
God almighty.
Well, I could do it. I mean,
Bill Kreutzmann lives in Mendocino, which is it's a good 3 hours from Marin County from the rest of us. So he's pretty far away.
Did anyone ever say that they were like Lesh, or somebody say they wanted to live somewhere else?
No. I think we kind of all like it where we are. It's pretty good.
What kind of guitar are you using now? That alembic thing still?
It's a guitar made by this guy named Doug Irwin that people mistake all the time for an alembic guitar, but it really isn't. There's this guy in Santa Rosa named Doug Irwin who's made this guitar for me some years ago, and he's working on another one for me. He's not in the business anymore at all. He just he does one-shot, one-of-a-kind guitars. They're not production guitars, and he doesn't sell them wholesale or any of that stuff. You just, they're custom made.
Yeah. What does it take a guitar player to switch from a guitar? Like you used the SG for a long time, then the Strat. Because I understand you
I
were
go through huge changes. It's very hard for me to change from one guitar to another.
Yeah.
I mean, it means that I have to. It's easier for me now, I think. But it used to make a big difference. I don't know why exactly. Maybe experience or something. I'm not really sure.
Because I remember Rolling Stone or somebody had an article on alembic, and they said, the guy said, to get Garcia on an alembic, forget it. He says it's like, he loves that Strat, and we've been telling him he can get that sound with this, but you were reluctant, and I always wondered what it would take. Pedal steel, do you ever play pedal steel much anymore? I always liked your
No,
playing.
I don't.
No?
I
Totally
break
gave
it out once a year and fool with it a little bit. It's one of those things where it's pointless for me to play it without some context, and without having an excuse to play it, and and to play it regularly, like a few times a week, I can't keep my chops together on it. And so also it's like quite different in terms of technique from the guitar, and trying to play both of them, it's really, what happens to your hands is they don't transfer well to each other. You develop a completely different set of muscles.
Well, the style that you had was very much yours. I mean, I could hear it a mile away from the laughing on David Crosby's Laughing. Is a great solo.
That's my favorite thing that I did with pedal steel. Yeah, I think that's the nicest thing I ever did with that.
That was a nice one. That was a good one. All right. That's it. It's 22 before 7, and you've been here for just about an hour. And I'd really like to thank you. I'm sorry for anyone out there who's got a question they've been dying to ask you. And I wish I could pick it up, but I can't.
Right.
But I can only think of so many things to ask you.
I'll be back again sometime.
Okay, great. And thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, really.
Okay.